This video is about the endless pursuit of winning. So when we talk about the endless pursuit of winning, what do we mean exactly? Well, first, there are 5 questions that we need to ask when we are trying to craft that successful strategy. And again, that successful strategy to do what? To allow us, to help us, to enable us to sustain that competitive advantage. Sustaining competitive advantage translates to what? Translates to profit. So what are those questions? First, have we fully defined our winning aspiration? Have we defined our why, as Simon Sinek calls it? Have we fully defined where we will play, which does what, which also determines where we will not play, what we will not do, where will we not go? And the third question is, have we fully defined how we are going to win in our area that we have chosen to play? And then have we defined what are our core capabilities that allow us to win in our where to play scenario? And then finally, have we defined what is the management system and those key metrics that are going to support our winning aspiration, the reason for being for our company, our where to play, which is what are those geographies? Are we going to be local? Are we going to be state? Are we going to be national? Are we going to be international? Have we defined what markets we're going to play in? Have we defined how are we going to win? What is our business model going to be? Are we going to be cost leaders or are we going differentiators? Have we determined what are those core capabilities that we need for our key success factors to be able to accomplish and to perform those key success factors? And do we have a management system? Is our organizational structure such that we can place those people who are closest to each other that need to be able to interact together? Have we placed that? Have we got our management system that is going to allow us to do what? To evaluate those particular metrics that are important to show us what it is that we want, that we need to be able to do so that we can win. And is that management system easy for us to view, to use, that will give us the data that we need to allow us to make that decision? Porter says that there are 5 tests to create a robust strategy. What are those tests? So the first thing is looking at your unique value proposition. Do we have one? Do we know which customers we are going to serve? Which means, do we know which customers we are not serving? Do we know which needs we are going to meet for our customers? What price for our good or service is acceptable that creates acceptable value, because we have to create that unique value? What price is acceptable to our customers, but as well acceptable to ourselves to generate that profit for our firm? Do we have a tailored value chain? That is the second question. Value chain is a sequence of activities. It is links in that chain that do what? That allow us to design, to produce, to sell, to deliver, and then after sales support for our products and our services. And how closely linked are those? How tight is our fit there? Are we aware of how and where we can add value for our customer at every single step of that particular chain? And as well, are we aware where we can extract costs that are needless costs from every link in that chain? Do we have trade-offs? So Porter says that trade-offs, that saying no to some customers so that we can better serve other customers, that we are concentrating, we are focusing on our core customers and focusing on the needs of those core customers. Trade-offs, Porter says that strategy is as much of knowing what not to do as it is of knowing what we should do. The fourth test is fit. How do those activities in that value chain fit together? So he says that competitive success does not depend on one great competence. It's all of the combinations of interdependent choices and decisions that do what? Reinforce each other and form that activity system. And then finally, for Porter, his 5 tests, he says, have we allowed enough time to go by? Do we have continuity? Are we not just the flavor of the month? Why do we need to have that continuity so that we can establish our brands, our reputation, our relationships? Do not forget, it is all about the relationship. That continuity allows us to align and tailor our contributions to our suppliers, to our channels, and as well what their contributions to us. Do we know what our suppliers need? Do we know what our channels need, our distribution channels need? How can we help them to better perform? How can we as well, not only helping them, but how can we gain greater power over our suppliers and channels by helping them, by doing what? By having greater, for our suppliers, for example, for having greater or larger purchases from them. So we have fewer purchases, but larger purchases from them. Are we able to get to negotiate a better price? Perhaps because we are paying, instead of us paying 210 net 30, so 2% if we pay within 10 days, the full price if we pay within 30 days. What if we pay within 2 days or 3 days and we get 2.25%, 2.5%? What does that do? That gives us a better price, and it gives them their money up front earlier than having to wait for that 10 days or that 30 days to get their money. They're happy, we're happy. And so what have we done? We have contributed to their well-being, but as well, we have contributed to our well-being because we are now having to pay less. The same thing for our channels of distribution. What is it that makes it easier for them? How can they have their routes better? How can they know how much space they need to be able to deliver, to pack and unpack, to deliver what it is that we have? What can we do with them? Can we develop, or can we have a long-term contract with them that we have said, we are going to need you to deliver this day, this day, this day. And so every week having something going on, so we make it easier for them to set their production schedule. So that continuity allows us to refine our activities. It allows us to build our resources and capabilities. And as well, it allows us to settle into our strategy. When we think of the strategic logic flow, have we fully analyzed the industry? Have we looked at the market segmentation? It's much easier to segment a market, to look at a smaller amount. Remember when we were talking about watches, for example, are they youth watches? Are they for adults? Are they luxury watches? Are they sport watches? So looking, are they leather? Are they metal? Looking at your segmentation of your market, you come down to the end to a very core piece. And so now you know who are your core consumers so that you can meet the needs for those core consumers. So have we segmented our market? Have we looked at the various attractions of our markets? Have we done what as well? Looked at our distribution channel as well as our end user and decided how we can provide more value to our distribution channel, how we can provide that unique value as well to our end user. And then our analysis of our own firm, have we looked at our capabilities and gauged those capabilities against our competitors' capabilities? Have we looked at our cost structure versus our competitors? Where are we in that cost structure? Are we, if we are trying to be the cost leader, are we in that bottom third there of that cost structure? Have we looked at how we are we going to differentiate as well? If our clients are differentiating, what are they differentiating on? How can we differentiate on other things? How can we provide or create that unique value? And then finally, our competitor analysis. Do we understand what our competitors' reactions will be if we do try to move in onto their territory? Have we used Porter's 5 forces to analyze the industry structure? Have we looked at the rivalry among the competitors in the group? Have we looked at the threat or the potential threat of new entrants? How do we minimize that potential threat of new entrants? One of the ways to minimize that is to have our pricing such that it defers or deters, that's a better word, that it deters new entrants because we're just under what they would need to charge so that they can have an acceptable or profit or even a hitting their mark there for to not sell for less than what their charges are. And so how do we look at what our pricing is? Have we looked at those substitute products or services, making sure that what we do not have a product that is undifferentiated, that you can get anywhere, that all you're looking for is the lowest price? We are looking to become what? We are looking to become that monopoly. We are looking to build that relationship. We are looking for our clients to believe that there are no substitutes because we do provide that unique value. Did we look at the bargaining power of our suppliers and our buyers? So once again, have we made it easier for our suppliers to work more closely with us to provide them cash flow being one, to provide them with what they need? Another item would be a standardized production delivery that we need from our suppliers. What about our buyers? Have we allowed our buyers to build a relationship with us? What type of customer service relationship do we have? Do we know what our buyers like and expect? Can we donate money to a particular cause that they may be interested in? Can we be part of the community, part of the group? Can we subsidize a particular youth baseball team, for example, and maybe we buy uniforms for them? Or if our product is environmentally based, are we making sure that we are sourcing our product from particular suppliers that do have a good environmental record? Can we plant a tree Can we donate other money to causes that are important for our buyers, but as well, we want to advertise that. We want to let other people know that we're doing that. Again, do they think that by purchasing from us, they are able to do something that is going to improve the environment, improve society? Are we able to build that relationship with our buyers? Do we understand what our key to competitive success is? That key is what? To create unique value. And as Magretta says, it is creating value that is the heart of competition. It's not beating everyone else. We have enough room. The market is large enough, and it's how we think and what we think about competition that determines the choices that we make, determines how we compete, because Magretta says, hey, there is no best. There is no best. Best for whom? Best for what? If you know who your consumer is, you have determined who that core consumer is, then you can create a best car for that consumer, or a best phone, or a best art museum, or a best hotel, a best product, a best service for that particular consumer, because your product or service is best meeting the needs, but not for all of the consumers, but for your particular core consumer that you need. So compete to provide unique value to your consumer, to your customer, that value that your customers cannot, or believe that they cannot get anywhere else, that becomes their monopoly in their eyes. So know what your customer values and deliver the value that your customer is looking for. So again, know your customer, know what your customer wants. If you have a question, if you need to understand which direction, now you've got choices and you don't understand, you can't determine which direction to take among these choices. How do you do that? Use the reverse engineering that Lafley and Martin have discussed, and frame that issue as at least a choice between two options, and then describe what those outcomes and as possible, describe those outcomes as positive possibilities. Why do you want to do that? People that are invested in a particular outcome, when you're having your meetings, people who are passionate about what they're doing, have that particular proposed project or proposed service, proposed product, and feel that that product or service is their baby. Those are ones that get passionate about what's going on. And those are the ones that have potential. Now you're trying to determine which direction to take. You want to take out that emotion where possible, and describe that outcome as positive possibilities to take out some of that emotion, and then to ask what must be true for each possibility to become a reality. Roger Martin said that was the crux, that was what was the hinge of his consulting for years, was to determine, to ask what must be true for each of these possibilities to become a reality. And then you look for, now that you understand what are the conditions that must be true, you look for the conditions that are the least likely to be true, so that you can test those first. To do what? To eliminate those positions as soon as possible. Why do you want to do that? Because that elimination does what? It reduces your number of actual viable options so that you can concentrate on those viable options. And if there is an option that is not likely to be true, eliminate it as quickly as possible, because that saves you time, which does what? It saves you money. So again, according to Martin, ask what must be true for the possibility to become a reality. Test your conditions, test the one that is least likely to be true as first, and then you can quickly eliminate those possibilities. The other thing that Martin and Lafley say is to be aware, and Magretta, be aware of the common strategy traps. What are those traps? The first trap is to believe that customers king. All right, good on you. However, you cannot meet every potential customer's need. Therefore, there are certain potential customers that you are going to have to deny. You are going to have to say no to, because you cannot meet every single potential customer's needs. That goes back to, have you determined who your core consumer is, your core customer? Have you determined where you're going to win? Have you determined how you're going to win? The other strategy trap is you do not take on your strongest competitor first. If you are going to incur, you don't take on your strongest competitor first, and certainly not in his home market with his home product. If you are going to make an incursion, you do what? You look for those outliers, as did Toyota, as did the mini meals. Also, you just from a pure militaristic strategy, you do not take on multiple customers, multiple competitors at the same time. If you are, you take on, if you wish to take on a competitor, you take on one, you take on a lower competitor, and then you can move up. Do not try to capture the same customer in the same geography, in the same segment as your competitors do. Magretta says, and Porter says, that this is absolutely the worst. You need to do what? You need to develop unique value so that you can appeal to customers with a product, a unique product that your competitors are not appealing to. So do not try to take the same customer, geography, or segment as your competitors. And then finally, they all say, do you understand that no strategy lasts forever? That each strategy must evolve, it must be improved, it must be sharpened, it must be changed to stay competitive so that you can do what? So that you can win year after year. Your continuity is important. Your core value, your aspiration there, your why stays the same, but gradually your how to win may change. Your current markets may change, your products may change, but that core value, that core aspiration does stay the same. But to realize that you must evolve, improve, and sharpen. You must cannibalize your children before someone else does. And then finally, I'll leave you with a quote from Lafley and from Martin. They say that leaders lead, and a good place to start leading is in the strategy development for your business.